Well, NASCAR on Monday announced that they are stiffening up the penalties in the NASCAR Cup Series, adding some sections to the rulebook. So NASCAR.com was the first to report that officials have released a more stringent penalty structure in 2022, introducing a three-tiered system. So in this system, it was added to the rulebook on Monday, January 24th, puts in place rules to protect with the debut of the next gen car model. So L3 penalties would be the highest form of penalty in this tiered system. And guys, we're seeing some potential penalties that may actually hit the Cup Series for the first time ever. And we're talking including loss of playoff points, not only deduction of Cup points and having members thrown out, but also stripping teams of playoff eligibility. When I think of playoff eligibility being stripped and like bowl games and NCAA, I think of that kind of thing. I would have never thought NASCAR town.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, we've only seen playoff eligibility taken away one time with the Michael Waltrip racing incident a few years back. Mm-hmm. That's the only thing I can recall where somebody was straight up taken out of the playoffs. But it's an interesting idea. Justin, what did you make of these new penalties?
I think they're going to be a necessary evil. Definitely with the way that the next gen's going to a more, streamlined type of car where they're not going to have as much input into what's going into the car. A lot of those parts are manufactured from, one person, one manufacturer. So I think it's necessary to make sure that the everything's as fair as it can be. But you got to also realize that they're going to be trying to find every single advantage that they can. So I'm curious to see when that first L3 penalty gets handed down.
David, as somebody that's been handed some penalties in the past, what do you think of this new structure, this setup here?
Hey, we're racers. You got crew chiefs, you got engineers. That's what we do, man. You're looking for an edge. You're trying to find something that works and that will give you an edge. That's just racing. I don't care what form of racing it is. The way you tune the motor, the handling, aero, you're always looking for an edge, and they have streamlined the race car like Justin's saying, and it makes it, to me, now that it is streamlined and everybody buys the same parts from the same manufacturer. I mean, everybody's going to have the same parts and pieces. To me, just thinking, I was thinking to myself that, man, there's going to be a lot of engineering going on. Engineers looking how to figure out how to manipulate, how to make something better with what you have, the parts and pieces you have to work with, And I was just listening to y'all, and I've been so busy myself, I hadn't really kept up with the penalties that the fines and that are going to be happening when they catch somebody bending the rules. You know what I mean? But man, with this new car and the way they streamlined everything and the same parts and pieces and all that, to me, when I was learning months and months ago about this car, I was just thinking, man, the engineers and the crew chiefs, I mean, they're going to be trying to figure out how to gain an edge. You know what I mean? So it's the interesting part is, the car is so new and so different. How do you write a rule book? What's inside that box and what's outside the box? You know what I mean? So it's going to be interesting, that process, you know what I mean? And when somebody finds something and they do something, or and then NASCAR finds it, is it really a penalty? Is it really, I mean, where's the line in the sand drawn? You know what I mean? So it's very intriguing and very interesting to see how this season is going to play out when you're talking about fines and people doing what they can to try to gain an edge. You know what I mean?